Hey guys, it's Kathy Olson from Funnel Gorgeous, and I think this is actually the only time we've ever done like a hybrid video where the two of us both shared our stories and got a little bit more personal. One thing I want to point out before we get started is that remember, Julie and I were in your shoes exactly where you are at this moment, wherever you are in this moment, whether you are a beginner or intermediate or even advanced. I don't know, maybe you're more advanced than us. That's cool too. But my point is that we totally understand what it is like to be watching every penny, every dollar, and because of that, how important it is to be discerning on where you choose to invest your money, especially if you're turning all of the profits that you're making straight back into your business. You want to have those investments have the biggest impact possible so that you can grow your business. All right, it's story time. So the best investment I have ever made in my business over and over and over again is actually going to in-person events. I may have said this before, but honestly, I don't think I say it enough because there is something about the relationships that you make going to in-person events that now I can look back on all the things I've done in my business. I started my business in 2008 technically, and then 2009 I got like legit, so it has been a long time. But again, I can look at a high level overview and say in-person events are the best investment that I've made over and over and over again. In fact, some of the events that I attended even 10 years ago directly impact things that are happening today, 10 years later. So a specific example is my friend that I met at an event. Her name is Amber Housley. If you followed me, you've heard me say her name tons of times. She's my biz bestie at this point. But back then, I obviously didn't know her. So the year was 2011, so 11 years ago. And I met Amber at this event. We kind of knew each other online, but we had never met in person. She lives in Nashville, I live in San Diego. There was not really any reason or way to meet in person. But we went to this event and we hit it off. She ended up hiring me. I took her on as a client. I did her website and branding, all that good stuff. Well, she is such a catalyst in my life because ever since I met her, I worked with her, and then later on, she reached out to me in 2013 to speak at her event. It was my first speaking gig. I'd never spoken at an event before. And so if I had never gone to that first event, I never would have met her. I never would have had my first speaking gig, which led to my second speaking gig. It led to so many things. If you really backtrack it, it's really like I don't even think I would have met Julie if I hadn't gone to that event. But I want to tell you something about that event. I had just had my first daughter. She was, I think, maybe, 2 or 3 months old at that time. And it was my first baby. Obviously it's really freaky. And 2 or 3 months old. I was breastfeeding as a mom that does that. If you've done that before, you know that is like crazy to go anywhere or do anything within 2 to 3 months of just having a baby. Keep in mind, this event was in San Diego. I just drove to it. Still, it was about a 30-minute drive. It was kind of outside of San Diego, so I did have to drive. I did have to take time away from my baby. I had to go into the car to pump. And actually at one point I went into Amber's room. I asked them, can I have some privacy and I need to pump, is that okay? And they were like, yes, you can come into our hotel room. I couldn't afford a hotel room. I was so grateful when they let me use theirs. But something happened in that hotel room when I was there. It was actually that the roommate of Amber, her name is also Kathy, was my client, and I had already worked with her, and I had actually sent her website design, I guess like the night before or something like that. And so she was just looking at it in her room on her laptop while I was there. She actually broke down into tears and was crying because of how much she loved it, but also just like what this meant for her business. And Amber was there, and I remember Amber telling me later that the feeling that Kathy had when she had her website, when she had something that really represented her like that, she wanted that feeling. And so it was such a cool moment, and I'll never forget it, and we still talk about that moment to this day. So I'm sure very cool things happened during that event. I'm sure I learned cool things, but to be honest, I don't remember any of them. All I remember are the relationships I made. All I remember is how they went out of their way for me, how we developed a friendship that turned into a business friendship, and we have collaborated on so many projects ever since. It's actually a kind of a full circle moment because Amber Housley is the one who puts on our Marketer's Heart events. So now we have these events, and Amber actually helps us put these on. She's our event designer and coordinator, so it is kind of funny and a very full circle moment. So what I want to say is I want you to look at events as planting seeds. And that was just one example of a story, but I can tell you tons and tons and tons of stories, and I can tell you tons and tons and tons of people that I've met from events, but I will always put events at a very high priority. I think there was one year that I went to like 20 events. And so at first, again, it was like me not even staying in the hotel, driving over, eating meals kind of in my car type thing to save money, barely being able to afford the ticket. I was on like whatever the most payment plan that you could possibly have, to like fast forward to now where I'm joining events that are $15,000 per event, flying there first class, staying in the like swankiest of hotels, ordering room service. I could not be more different than that person then. But again, I still take events very seriously because of the connections I make. And even if it's just one person, sometimes I meet 2 people, I might 3, 5, 10, whatever. But sometimes I just meet one person, and that's totally fine. You also obviously get a lot from events, from the speakers, from the notes that you're taking, the conversations you're having. A lot of times you'll have a conversation with someone that doesn't even end up being your friend after the fact, but you're just kind of talking out your idea and they can give you ideas. You can like move your ideas forward by sort of talking them through other people who are in your shoes, or maybe will be in your shoes or have been in your shoes. And so I get a lot from those conversations as well. And the biggest thing is it's all tax deductible, tax write-offable. I basically don't go on vacation much anymore unless it's for a business event. I actually flew to Australia in 2019 with Amber, and we went to an event, and all of the costs of this long 15-hour flight was covered because it was a business expense. Obviously, that is not tax strategy advice. I'm not a CPA. Don't take my advice. Talk to your CPA, all the good disclaimers.
One of the little known secrets about building your business is that events can completely change your life and your revenue and your business. My name is Julie. I'm one of the co-founders of Funnel Gorgeous. And today I want to tell you a personal story about an event that absolutely changed the trajectory of my business. Now, it was back in 2017, which feels like decades ago. But I was business partners with a woman named Madeline, and we were doing this course together, and it was super fun. And we decided to meet in Dallas in 2017 and attend the Funnel Hacking Live conference. It's a conference put on by Russell Brunson and his team over at ClickFunnels. And I remember walking into the room and really having no idea what to expect. And for the next 2 to 3 days, my mind was completely blown by not only what was being taught, but what was happening in the businesses of the people who were attending. And so we made a concerted effort, because it was a lot of money back then. It was a big investment. We went in thinking, okay, how are we going to make a return on this investment? It had cost us several $1,000s to go. And, we had a very, very small business at the time. It was making, $10,000 a month, which, is not small money, but still it was a big chunk of change. And so we started connecting with other people in the group. And number one, we were able to get some clients directly from other members. But number two, we completely changed what we saw as possible. And one of the biggest pieces of advice I can give you when you're trying to up level, when you're trying to take your business to that next revenue level, you need to be in the room with people who are already doing it, because it's going to change your belief system. And as soon as your belief system shifts, then your actions start to shift. Your mindset and the risks that you start to take, all of that stuff shifts. And sure enough, our business completely changed. Number one, we got some new strategies that we didn't know, and hearing from Russell and people who were in the field doing it, we were able to take those strategies back, apply them to our business, and see an immediate switch in revenue. Number two, like I said before, we were able to connect with people, tell them a little bit about our business, and get some clients. Number three, and this is sort of this is kind of a funny one, but a lot of times at events, the people who are hosting the event release things that are not yet known to the public. It's kind of like a premiere showing, if you will. And so Russell did this at Funnel Hacking Live and premiered a couple things in the software. He also premiered his book. This was the biggest game changer of all, because by being on the front of what he was about to do next, it was like kind of getting a leg up. And so we actually participated in an entire affiliate contest in a program that he was selling. And this is really what put me on the map. I started affiliating for him. I ended up getting Russell Brunson's attention. I started to become known in the space. And it was this one event that really shifted everything for me. I would go on to beat out Tony Robbins and Grant Cardone and Jeff Walker in an affiliate contest. I got Russell Brunson's attention. I ended up in the ClickFunnels world. I was asked to be partner. Like, everything shifted because of that one event. Now, I'm not saying every event you go to is going to be that dramatic, but the importance of getting in the room, this is something that cannot be understated. So for example, Kathy and I, every year we host the Marketer's Heart event. This is a fantastic event to go to, especially if it's your first time venturing out, mainly because it's a small enough room that you're not going to feel lost, but big enough that you are going to meet people who are doing a lot more than you, and you'll be able to get inspired. Plus, we bring the latest in strategies and tactics that are working right now in 2022, and we reveal things that we're doing in our company, offers and special deals that nobody else is seeing. So if you're looking to up-level your business and you're trying to decide, should I run some more Facebook ads? Should I hire that coach? Should I, put out a new offer? One of those choices, and probably the one that's going to make the biggest return, is should I go to an event? The answer is yes. I hope we see you at the Marketer's Heart event. And throughout the year, you may want to look at other conferences and events because you never know who you're going to meet, what you're going to learn, and how it might change everything.
The moral of the story is without events, without in-person experiences like that, both Julie and I would have missed out on tons of opportunities and genuinely would not be where we are today in our business if we didn't. So my best piece of advice for you is make the necessary investments in your business in order to grow to the next level. If you are wanting to grow to another level, go to an event full of people at that next level and surround yourself with people who are thinking bigger and who are scaling businesses like you would like to scale yours. If you're not sure what events are like that or what events to even attend, I have a great suggestion, and that would be ours. Every year we have an event called the Marketer's Heart event. It is an amazing event. It is the best event ever to grace the planet Earth. Trust me, I know I'm biased, but I swear, trust me, it really is the best event you'll ever attend. We go out of our way to make sure that every single attendee has the best time, and it is one of the best events you can go to. Everyone is so friendly and so genuine, and people make so many connections at the Marketer's Heart event. So the next one is in 2023 in February, and it is in New Orleans. We have in-person tickets available, but we also have virtual tickets available. I didn't really talk about the virtual side of events, but just know if there is some reason that you can't actually attend live, we make our virtual version almost just as good as the in-person version, and we give you guys the chance, the virtual attendees, a chance to connect with each other. So in case you are seeing this video and the in-person seats are sold out, don't let that stop you. Come to the virtual version and we will have some tips and tricks on how to connect with other people virtually. You can check out all the details at the link in the description box below. This could very well be the best decision that you have ever made in your business. You could go to Marketer's Heart and something will change. A light bulb will go off. You will meet someone. You'll hear something. You'll say something to someone. You'll talk about something. You could make a connection. Some sparks will fly and it will change your business forever. As always, thanks so much for hanging out, and we will see you next week. Make sure to like and subscribe. Bye, guys.